Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Game of Thrones podcast. I'm your host, Carmine of RedTeamReview, and I'm joined here by special guest, Trey the Explainer. Hello, Trey.
Hey, Carmine. It's good to be here. How are you doing?
If you don't remember, you actually started off the podcast with me 2 years ago for House of the Dragon Season 2, and it's great to have you back. Of course, Preston is busy. He's helping formulate the plan to invade Cuba. So I'm glad to have you here helping me out. Of course, we're here to talk about House of the Dragon, Season 3, Episode 1. And in my review, I said it was one of the episodes of all time. It wasn't a good premiere episode, but it was fine. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was fine too. I think I said solid or something like that. It's a solid episode. You can definitely tell that this is not really like a premiere. Like that I think most people kind of are aware that like they cut the season 2 short. So like there's leftover from the end of season 2 moving into the beginning of season 3, and it's like pretty apparent. Like this would be a great ending to the second season, as opposed to the ending we got to the second season. Because that's the thing, is like right before the episode aired, I watched like the tail end of the final episode of season 2, and I was like, man, what a week ending for season 2, where it's like the montage of everybody walking. Like I'm like, man, that's really like not that like exciting. And so like yeah, this would have worked way better as like an emotional punch in the gut for season 2. But yeah.
So, are you familiar with the Hobbit films from Peter Jackson? They weren't that great.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And are you familiar with Topher Grace? He played Eric Foreman in that '70s show.
Topher Grace.
He played Venom in the Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
So Topher Grace was doing a movie, and as when you usually do a movie, you're usually sitting around doing nothing. So in the time he was sitting around doing nothing, he took the 3 Hobbit films and spliced them together into one giant thing. And I've honestly, because I know you and I both received screeners for Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, but I know you didn't receive them for House of the Dragon Season 3. I did. And as someone who has seen, at the risk of making people who have heard this multiple times roll their eyes, as I've seen the first 4 episodes, I'm so tempted to take episodes 1 and 2 and kind of splice them together, because obviously episode 2, you've read the books. Obviously that's when Rhaenyra goes to King's Landing. They're setting the whole thing up for it. And I think Rhaenyra taking King's Landing not only would have been the perfect ending to season 2, but I think it would have been also the perfect beginning to season 3. Because in episode 3, the conceptual episode, which I think that's what that was, it's all about Rhaenyra. It's all her the entire time. Like, there is no cutaway to some random character in Essos or in the North. It's all Rhaenyra all the time, episode 3. And I thought it was really good. So, I'm really thinking of splicing it together because, again, like, episodes 1 and 2 was supposed to be in season 2, but it really does feel like season 3 will only have 6 episodes to it instead of 8 or 10 as it should. Because you're right. Like, yeah, like I've been saying it. People have been saying it. This felt like the dreaded episode 9 of season 2 instead of a premiere. It doesn't even open the same way seasons 1 and 2 did. So
very weak opening. Yeah. Here, I'm trying to see how many episodes of House of the Dragon. The Wikipedia page is like down.
So season 1 had
8.
10. Season 2 had 8 because of HBO's budget issues. And of course, this is how TV works nowadays. Slowly over time, we went from having 13. I remember having 12 to 13 episodes of True Blood back in the day. And then 10 episodes of Game of Thrones. And now, slowly over time, we're going back down to 8 episodes. I'm old enough to remember, Trey, when we could get 24 episodes of television on a child's allowance, and now you can barely put anything out. You could be like Dune Prophecy had 6 episodes. I'm like, what,
oh my
6?
God!
But
like that
shit
better be real good. You're right that like I'm thinking of like I watch X-Files, and X-Files is like. It's like 40 or like 24 episodes a season, which is just nuts. That's like nuts to nowadays, where it's like, yeah, you can struggle to get more than 10. Yeah. That's so funny. I'm looking up that the Topher Grace Hobbit thing, and that it's a 2-hour cut. And I'm like, he cut those down to 2 hours. I would want to know what he included and what he didn't include with that much shaved off. Because what is it? It's like 3 movies that are like 3 hours each or something like that. Like,
yeah.
That's crazy. He cut out so much material. Oh my gosh.
He probably cut out that stupid dwarf elf love plotline. And I will say this, as much as I hated her like social commentary on social media, Lindsay Ellis has a brilliant Hobbit retrospect. Oh my god.
She should have made that part 3, or she left it open to do more, because she did like interviews. She like interviewed like actors in it and was getting like the scoop. That I have to say, that video of hers is pretty fantastic.
But no, House of the Dragon, this opening that's not really an opening, it was fine. The one thing I think I will say that kind of bothered me about the episode was Jace's death did not have the gut punch that Robb Stark's death had. And I think this is something Preston said and other people tacked onto it, and I gotta talk about it as well. I think the reason why Robb, his death impacted me way more than Jace, is because not only did we have more seasons with Robb, but we also had scenes with Robb, and we saw him love and fight and dream and just like have his own character. Whereas Jace just feels like a character that's there to prop up Rhaenyra and sprinkle some flavor on hers. I think that the main problem...
I 100% agree. Yeah.
Going forward, I think people looking back on House of the Dragon will be like, why did Alicent have so much screen time when a lot of her scenes are just her doing nothing? In fact, I'm trying to find it right here. Someone counted all the minutes that all the characters had for screen time. Alicent is number 2 in season 2, right behind Rhaenyra, of course, and in front of Daemon.
She had nothing to do season 2. What did she do besides like walk into a lake and stuff? Like,
well, she complained that she's not allowed, that no one's allowing her to do war crimes because, the patriarchy. And that's pretty much all I can remember. And she fucked Christian Cole, which, I mean,
this
sure.
Is true. This is not Carmine, you're tapping into my problem with House of the Dragon in general, is that I don't feel a connection to the characters the same way that you feel a connection to characters in Game of Thrones. Everybody's very stoic. Everybody's pretty boring. Like Jace doesn't have much screen time. Like, I don't have a good idea of like what Jace's personality is, and what I know is that he's like kind of a whiny crybaby, And
he's also devoted to Rhaenyra. Like, usually the characters in House of the Dragon, you can either put them in one of 2 camps of personality: how much they like Rhaenyra and how much they don't like her. And he's in the like Rhaenyra camp. Daemon sometimes dances on that line a little bit, but he's one of the 3 mains. Alicent also recently dances on that line. But that's basically what it boils down to. And in regards to Robb, I can't tell you one single line that Jace had that was memorable. Robb had so many of them.
Oh, yeah. He's very charismatic. Like, that's the thing, is Richard Madden's very charismatic.
God, he is.
I don't know if the Jace actor is... I don't know if he's given stuff to do, is the thing.
Well, they took away his stuff to do.
He's a very handsome man. He's a beautiful man. But yeah, I don't know if has much to do in the entire series.
Well, first off, you're right. His hair is phenomenal. It's like
they should have given him that wig again. Put him back in that ugly ass wig.
Oh god, that wig. They should go back. They should do that actor a favor and digitally like put his real hair on, like, because that fucking wig was so bad. And what's funny is, like, he has stuff to do, at least in the book. Remember, he goes to Winterfell, and that whole thing with Sarah Snow, he's in Winterfell for, like, a week or something.
Right.
So
if I was his actor, I would be pissed that, like, you gave me something interesting to do, and then you cut it. Like,
I don't even know if they filmed it.
Like, they didn't film it. Sorry, they didn't cut it. They didn't film it. Like, they wrote it out of the story. Like, that makes him interesting, that he's, like... I don't know. George R.R. Martin understands it. George R.R. Martin says, like, the best writing is, like, the human heart in conflict with itself. Like, that, giving him 2 love interests, that makes him interesting. Like, he has his cousin stepsister,
Baelish.
and then he has Sarah Snow, and, like, he has to debate, like, which one he likes more or whatever. It's interesting. It's interesting. But, like, they didn't give him that, and now he just is totally faithful to his cousin Baela, and then that's it. You know, that's all he has. And then he wants to kind of protect his mother. Like I'm trying to think, like, what is Jace's character besides that he protects his mother and he likes Bela?
I can't really tell. He had a really
like that's boring. That's boring. we want somebody that's a little more dramatic, right?
I mean, he had a really good scene in season 2 where he goes to the House Frey and he secures that bridge for the Stark forces to come down. And I like that. That was fucking awesome. And then he complains about the dragon seeds, and then that's it. He didn't have much to do, and he should have. There's another Robb moment that I fucking love from season 3. It's when the Karstarks kill those little kids, and Robb yells at them. He's like, "They were boys!" And then, such a cold line. I love it. He goes, "Send Lloyd Karstark to the dungeon. Hang the rest." "Mercy, mercy, sire! I didn't kill anyone. I only watch for the guards." "This one was only the watcher. Hang him last so he can watch the others die." Ooh, cold as ice. Ooh, where'd that come from? Ooh, I love it.
That's a book line. That's like one of the best book lines from George right there. That rocks. Yeah, the other ones are, I think, show original. The other ones that you quoted. So it's like funny how like that's like one is from George, some are from show original. Like they knew how to write them. Yeah. See, like that they needed Jace to have more of a character. Like with that, you know that Ned Stark, like not Ned Stark, Robb Stark is like his father, but he's also like he's dropping the mic. You know, he's kind of a badass. You know, like it's fun. It's good. Give them something. Yeah. So yeah, that's my problem with House of the Dragon in general, is that when the characters you don't feel much, in my personal opinion, I don't know, maybe people feel different. Maybe those like the people on Tumblr or whatever feel different. I'm not as attached to the characters as, because they feel very one note, and maybe that's a problem with the source material, where in the source material they are one note. So it's hard to like give them character, like when George is writing like a textbook. I'm just thinking about like who, like I guess Matt Smith is kind of a fun character, where like he's kind of an asshole, but he also is like has a heart of gold kind of thing, you know, like he's like this this conflicted character. You want characters that kind of have something going on, and like I don't know, with me I want there to be more, like I guess I like the Adam actor. Like I think a lot of it is the actors are charismatic themselves. It's not necessarily like their character, it's like the actors are just like really charismatic and it shines through. You know, like I know what the actors are like off stage, and that bleeds into how I see them on stage. Let's see. Yeah, but sorry, I'm rambling.
I'm looking here at season 2 character times. So Rhaenyra, of course, has an hour and 44 minutes of time. Then Alicent had an hour and 9 minutes. Daemon has an hour and 5, and then it dramatically goes down. Aegon has 39 minutes. Like.
That is crazy. Aegon has 39 minutes of screen time in all of season 2.
In all of season 2, and he is.
That is crazy.
He is the leader of the faction of the that opposes Rhaenyra, and his mom, who does nothing, gets more screen time than he does. He should really have a bit more, and I guess he will this season, kind of, but I don't know.
He's one of the more memorable characters from last season, I think, because he was the like comic relief at some points. You know, he was like giving his buddies like the Kingsguard stuff and like just fucking around. Like yeah, like that actor is very fun. I do like that Aegon actor. Like I hope him being, you know, damaged, like he's burned and like in pain all the time. I hope they still give him like witty stuff to do, you know, like fun, like he's still kind of like cynical and funny this season, because I would hate for him just to be like there's too many like sad sacks in this series. Like it's too downer. I don't know, maybe that's what they're going for, more like serious tone, but I'm like, man, like we need some levity here.
You're right. There's no character like Tyrion that has that wit and that's sharp and has like these funny moments where, you know, he talks to Pod or Bronn, or like there's no Samwell Tarly where it's like, oh, Sam. Like there's no character like that.
You need a wholesome character for them to work off of. Like if everybody's miserable, it really does, like it kind of makes it not as fun. like, I don't know, like that Otto. I like that Otto actor. Ray
Reese
Fiennes.
Funds. Mm-hmm.
Reese Funds. Like, bring him back. He was pretty fun. He like had some like I think because he was like a comedic actor before. He like it bleeds into the character a little bit. Where like he has like his dismissal from Aegon, and he's like, give it to Kristen Cole, and he just like looks over. Like he has just like a look, and he's like, why might I do that? Like he's like, you dumbass. like I don't know. There's some actors that I really favor in this, and yeah. I guess I'm interested to see his brother, like the guy with the smelling salt thing.
Ormond Hightower. Yeah,
Ormond Hightower. I guess I'm excited to see him. He seems like he might be interesting.
He is.
He not?
No. He is interesting. It's just, again, season 3 really begins in episode 3. And it's just...
God.
Yeah, like, and when we fully start to understand who he is and what his character, like, is only in episode 4. That episode, it's way too... We're, like, halfway until we really start to understand his mindset, what his motivation is, what he wants to do, what his plans are. And I think that's a little too late. Like, this really... Like, episode 4 really should have been episode 2, but here we are. That's why I kept saying how I really think they should have combined episodes 1 and 2 to like a big premiere where Rhaenyra takes King's Landing as Gullet happens, and as she ascends the throne, her son dies. Like, it's a victory, but also it's a bittersweet victory. Like, that's how I would have done it. Like, the dragon seeds don't need to be in the God's Eye. Just for Alice Rivers to have that whole, I'm a witch, like, line. That was dog shit. I hate that character.
I didn't like that.
Because that character, I feel like, it's an insert for someone on the writing team who probably had a goth, witchy phase in high school and kind of misses it, and probably tries to hide the fact that they still believe in star signs and moon water. And I know this because I dated plenty of those women, and I could spot it from a mile away.
You're right that, like, I know people like that like, I worship Basset, like, or whatever, you know, like, that, like, I'm pagan. And yeah, and then just giving her like okay, we talked about this last season. We're not really fans of the Weirwood prophecy vision stuff. Like, it really doesn't feel like it belongs here. Like, what are you doing with that? Why are you attaching yourself to the end of Game of Thrones, which fucking sucked? You know, like, why bother? And like, none of it matters. You know, like, all this is not going to change anything because we learned that all this is forgotten, you know, like the Aegon prophecy thing. So it's just kind of like wasting screen time and resources. That like that's the thing, is you're like, Aegon, the leader of the faction, the evil faction, not evil faction, the Greens faction, only gets 39 minutes of screen time in all of season 2. And just get rid of the prophecy thing, give that to Aegon so he has more screen time, and we like grow more attached to him as a character, or grow like to hate him more, or something like that. It's I think their priorities are a little weird sometimes in this show.
Their priorities are they're messed up because they're trying to make 3 people the main characters, 2 of which, Rhaenyra and Alicent, for the most part don't have much to do when the war goes down. And this is another thing in regards to let's talk about the character Rhaena, because I sent you an article here where Ryan Condal talks about why Rhaena was passed over, and why Nettles was passed over for Rhaena, and the material was switched over. Condal has said this before, ironically, in a podcast that came out a day before Toxic Butterflies. And this is what he said here. He said, "It just felt to us that because, again, this story is told in the point of view, that it felt more apt, as this is a family story, to where we had the opportunity to involve one of the family members in the storyline. And because Rhaena has been set up since season 1 as the member of the family who doesn't have a dragon, and basically her sole identity is the Targaryen kid who doesn't have a dragon, it felt like that was a character that we had already set this long runway for, that it could be very satisfying for the audience that didn't have the experience." Okay, what's wrong about this is that he's right, but he's wrong. Did they set it up? Not really. There was a storyline that was either filmed and cut, or cut altogether, that Laena has a conversation with Daemon about Daemon being cold towards Rhaena because she doesn't have a dragon. That was either filmed and cut, or it was cut altogether.
That's kind of like an essential scene for the plotline
yes.
that you're trying to give her.
Yes.
Why would you cut that?
And then, and then there's a hint of it in the final episode of season 1, where Daemon goes, "We have Caraxes and Melees and Cyrax and Moondancer, and there are other dragons on Dragonstone, riderless." And then Rhaena looks up at her father, all worried. Like, there were hints of it there, but bro, you didn't put it in. You didn't earn this. And what's
you need it in there.
What's annoying?
That's essential.
It is,
like, to have that scene in there to set up it.
And what's annoying is that, like, Phoebe Campbell, great actor. Like, I thought they were really good. Their screams during the whole, like, "No, sheep stealer, behave, calm, obey." Like, that was way better than Philosophy Tubes yelling. Was way better. Good actor here. I love him. But they should have been set up more in seasons 1 and 2. Plain and simple.
They didn't have much material to work off of, and then I think that's the main thing. Yeah, I bet that's why, like, you tell me about the extra scene of them telling Daemon that, like, the mom telling Daemon that he's cold to his daughter. Because she doesn't have a dragon. That gives so much motivation for everything. Like, why would you cut that? That's, like, very... Like, sometimes there's, like, essential scenes, you need that to set up a character. Especially a character... How much screen time did Bela have? Or Rhaena?
Let me see here real quick. Bela in season 2... I'm looking here. Bela had 18 minutes and 10 seconds.
18 minutes, gosh, like a character that you barely get to see, and that's just screen time. That might just be even the character just standing in a room during, like, one of those council scenes and not saying anything.
Rhaena had 9 minutes and 40 seconds of screen time.
9 minutes? That is crazy.
You know who had more screen time than Rhaena? Maester Orwyle.
See that, like. That, like, as a showrunner, you should see that. Somebody should bring that to them, and, like, that's a problem. That's a problem, that you're trying to give a plotline to a character that has had 9 minutes of screen time and is less screen time than Maester Orwyle.
And then, like, becomes incredibly important. Incredibly important. That would be like... Game of Thrones did this well. I remember when Roose Bolton first appeared in season 2, and he's giving counsel here and there. He's there in the background, but then they really pump him up towards the end of season 2, and then all throughout season 3. They're playing him up to be, like, a very important character. He holds Harrenhal, he's sending his hunters out, he's doing this, and then the ultimate betrayal. They put him in there front and center. He's usually counseling Robb, or he's interacting with Jaime. He's a little suspicious. There was enough there. With Rhaena, like, if they were planning on replacing Nettles with Rhaena, they really should have added more there, more meat on the bone. Why remove any of this? I don't know. I don't know
either.
It's dumb. I made the joke that George is close to writing Toxic Butterflies Part 2. Now, of course, the original Toxic Butterflies wasn't about Maelor, even though he says Maelor the Missing. It was about other stuff too. George was on a trip in the UK with this other author, and that author put out on their blog post that Maelor was just one of the things he was complaining about. But we're going to go with missing characters as being one of the things he's complaining about. And 2 characters that were missing from the premiere and that Gullet battle were Rhaenyra's 2 young sons with Daemon, Aegon, and Viserys, who later become very important.
Also her other son.
Joffrey.
who's just not... who's just cut entirely.
I think Joffrey... There might be a scene in episode 2 of Joffrey. I don't remember. But he's still there, and
he is. He's alive.
I believe so. Yeah, I think so. I think Joffrey was in season 2 as well. I'm pretty sure he was.
Is this like, I'm looking? Is this like an AI? Oh, okay, yeah. I guess he is in the show. I mean, we just don't get, like, he's gotten like 10 seconds of screen time is the thing, probably. Oh, yeah, he is there. He's at the funeral of Luke. Okay, that's so funny. I just, like, totally forgot that this character existed. All right. So he does exist, but I have no idea where he is now.
Well, according to Ryan Condal, the reason why they weren't there was because, and I'm quoting him here, Her youngest children are just not of age where you can involve them with complex dramatic sequences, complex action. It's not safe. It's not practical. So it's just something that we had to dispense of rather early on in the process. You know what? Fair.
That's fine.
Like, they're on in the story. They're on a boat, and the boat gets intercepted by Triarchy forces. And during the battle, young Aegon has to abandon his little brother and fly off to warn everybody about the Gullet battle, about the incoming Triarchy forces. And I understand the process of involving children in filming this stuff. It can be a pain in the ass. Not to mention, now because everything costs an arm and a leg, it's extra costs on that. Because you have to hire tutors, you have to have like their parents on board, of course. You have to like do this, and this. They can only film for a certain number of hours a day. Yeah, it's a whole thing. So I kind of get it, but also, on the other hand, you could have had them, both of the kids, on a boat, and then you could have had the aerial view of the boat like sailing, unfortunately, towards the Triarchy fleet, and have that like impending moment of dread.
There's a way to shoot that without having like a child actor in danger,
right?
You, especially like CGI, you just have like the dragon from a distance take off or something. Like, yeah, I'm looking at this, like, in the story, in the book, Aegon's supposed to be 9 years old when he leaves his brother. George R.R. Martin does have a problem with writing children. He often, like, makes them act older than they are. I think a 9-year-old, you could get a 9-year-old actor to act out a scene. Like, there's ways to do it. That's the thing, is, like, he can make up all these excuses, but, like, you just own it. Just say, like, we didn't want to do it. Like saying that, like, oh, we didn't, they're so young that we can't involve them in stuff or whatever. There's ways to do it. You just gotta be a good writer, you know? You gotta be a good writer and write around it, and then have an idea of, like, okay, we could use CGI and go shoot this from a distance. Like, all you're asking for, Carmine, is there's a scene of them on the boat. They see the Triarchy ships, and then it cuts to, I don't know, one of the dragons leaving or something like that, right? I don't know. There's a way to shoot it. Like, I think that's just a weak excuse, what he's saying. I don't know. Again, I'm not in Hollywood, and I don't know how child acting stuff works, but I'm sure there's a way to shoot it in a way that's... You have the little child actors, right? Like, we saw them last season. I guess they did age them down in the show, right? They're toddlers, so that's hard. I guess that's hard.
He says here, it's not to say those characters are out of the show or anything. We all realize what an important role they play as Rhaenyra's sons with Daemon and heirs to the particular bloodline and where they sit in history. So we haven't forgot about any of that. It just requires changes and adaptations to make it safe and practical. When we are going to tell a story with those kids, to be able to do so in a way that we can actually do. This is just bullshit speak for... Practicality-wise, we don't want to have children involved in the filming of a already expensive show, and it's going to be extra expensive, and all the logistics, yada yada. To that, I say you should have filmed everything you would have needed with them in season 2.
Because, okay, in the story, they're already in the Vale. Is that what they said?
What do you mean?
Like, I think I read that, like, in the story, the Aegon and Viserys are already in the Vale under, like, safekeeping.
So basically what ends up happening is, in season 2, Jane Eyre sends them away to Pentos because she was promised a dragon would stay behind and defend the Vale, and the dragons they sent were, I think, either super small or eggs, and therefore, like, oh, well, I can't hold them here because... I just can't really protect them if the Green's dragon comes and attacks. So we're sending them to Pentos for safekeeping. They do get referenced later in the show, but very briefly. So they're still there. It just focuses on Rhaena and all that. So again, we don't know what George has to say about any of this. He was regularly blogging.
He probably hates this.
Probably.
He probably like, I'm assuming, like, not to say that George is right about everything he's apparently, like the Maelor stuff or whatever, but he, like, I just knowing how he acted at the last Toxic Butterflies, he's probably, like, really, like his radio silence. I'm looking at his Not a Blog right now. Like, his intern, or his what is it, the minion... The Minion made May 7th is the last blog, and it's just like a stock thing about the stage play. And then, is this his actual? This is, I don't know if this is him, like, okay, this looks like his writing style. in February. Jeez, like he is just going radio silent these days. Holy
Trey,
cow.
he has not even said anything in regards to Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and as far as we know,
that is crazy.
He liked that. As far as we know, like he hasn't even talked about it. I want to say he's just busy writing. I hope they're not Weekend at Burnings him. You know, according to the Corlys Velaryon actor Steve Toussaint, apparently a couple weeks ago he spoke to George about doing the Corlys spinoff, and there's no signal. He's radio silent. We have no idea where this guy is. Like, so, and the other thing is about the casting for the theater play and him writing that email about his approval for it. So,
oh yeah, that email that kind of seemed like it was like ghost written or something like that, right? It was a little off. Dang, that's crazy. That's crazy that he's just like we have never really seen this level from George where he just goes totally radio silent. And then like that's the weird thing. You're right that he said absolutely nothing to promote Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and it looked like he loved it. Like when he was at the Comic-Con, he seemed like he was all in. He was like, I really enjoy these actors. He was on stage, like talking about knighting and stuff. He seemed pretty good. Like he was on board with it. A day ago, this is not my story anymore. What is this? Is this a fake? I'm looking up George.
No. What happened was
that's old.
Yeah, in December of 2025, Hollywood Reporter, I think in December or January of 2026, Hollywood Reporter put out an interview with George where he said how one of his last meetings with the House of the Dragon writing team is he's reading the scripts and he puts it down and he says, this is not my story anymore. Because I guess what he saw was such a drastic change that, yeah. So, yeah, it's frustrating because it's frustrating for me because the show isn't bad, but it can be much better than it is. And the other frustrating thing is Night of the Seven Kingdoms was so good that it feels as though that should have been the true successor show to Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Like, every complaint that we've had, I feel as though Night of the Seven Kingdoms fixed it. Not only are they enhancing the story by adding original but awesome stuff, they're also inserting that fun in there. And from a show with like such big stakes to a lower stakes thing, but also fairly important in the history of Westeros, like it kind of has everything, and even a little bit of scheming in there too, with Baelor and him choosing to back Dunk. Did I tell you about that? My whole thing on that.
Baelor? What were you saying?
It was my theory that Baelor had no choice but to join Dunk's side.
Oh, for like political reasons.
Because
he's not like the book one where he's a wholly like altruistic character. He's like, yeah, I need to do this for the sake of the dynasty or something, you know, to quell the commons.
He needs to do it because it looks bad that you have on one side Andals and on the other side Targaryens, who have clearly been falling out of favor with the common folk for quite some time. And that's the huge thing in the show, which is not in the book, that the Targaryens, they're incestuous aliens. They're incestuous aliens, Dunk. And then when oh fuck, what's the kid? The Pete Davidson looking motherfucker who kills the horse.
But the
fuck.
Oh,
name escapes me.
What was that? What's that actor's name? That's God, I hate George's Targaryen names. Aeron,
thank you. I just saw it here. When Aerion, when he kills the horse and the fucking crowd like erupts, like clearly the Targaryen are on the outs. And Baelor, he had to make this political decision to stand by Dunk, because if he doesn't, then this is just going to look bad on the family. That everyone saw Aerion assault this girl, this innocent girl, for no reason. The Targaryens had to still be of the people, otherwise they would have faced a rebellion much sooner. And political decision. There was so much in there. It was just a very fun show that, in my opinion, I think will stand a test of time as the true successor to Game of Thrones than House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon is slowly starting to be some book fans' fanfic. And on that topic, Ryan Condal is a book fan. Because, and you said this best, you had a tweet that you showed me yesterday, or the day before, about how the Green Men. They are showing us the Green Men a little too much. And then that one guy who was like, Green Man, what did he say to you? Let me.
He was like a LARPer. Yeah, what did he say? I didn't even bother to respond. I was like, wow.
I responded for you.
Fake fan.
Because you know me.
This fucking guy, yeah. This is like those comic book fans getting called out for caring about random characters. I've never met a single person who gives a fuck about the Green Men, let alone thinks they've been hyped up for 30 years. Why book fans, quotes, wiki fans, are miserable. And I'm just like, dude, you like that just shows you're not involved in the fandom. You know, you're just not involved in the Song of Ice and Fire fandom if you don't think that the Green Men are like one of the major sources of like theory crafting that's where all the crazy fan stuff is Green Men stuff, where people are like, what's the deal with the Green Men? What's the God's Eye? The trees there. It's all tied into the werewood stuff. Like, for you to say that the Green Men are some obscure thing that fans don't care about just makes no sense. Like, no, fans love the Green Men. Yeah.
Here's the thing. He's right and he's wrong. He's right that most people don't care about it. They're the casual fans. Ryan and to what I said here, in your defense, and I said here, Trey's right. Green Men weren't put in there for casual fans who don't know what they are. It's an Easter egg for book fans. And the guy goes, You think Ryan Condal put something as an Easter egg for book fans? Really?
1,000%. 1,000%.
In season 1.
What is this guy talking about?
In season 1, he did it all over the place. Like, there's an actual conversations the ladies of the court are having about Lady Johanna Swan, and that's from Fire and Blood. Like, he's put of course they put Easter eggs in there for book fans. Of course they do. Right?
He is the Elio-Linda. He is the Linda thing. Like, we're like, there's like a character that's Elio-Linda. Like, you think like a casual is gonna know what the fuck that's referencing?
Right, and you made a very good point as well. Like, you said, call me lame, but my hot take is that I don't think we should be seeing something hyped up and kept mysterious in the book for 30 years. So clearly, I agree. Like, why are the Green Men there? Like, who cares?
Why are the Green Men there? Because George R. Okay, here's the thing with the Green Men. The Green Men were established in the second. I guess there's the prologue, there's Bran, and then Catelyn. So I guess it's technically the third chapter. Third chapter of A Game of Thrones. The Green Men are mentioned and alluded to. And I think they're mentioned further times in like a Bran chapter, and then maybe Ned Stark thinks about them or something like that in A Game of Thrones. And they've just been hyped up, and then you have like the what is it? The Howland Reed story from his kids, where he mentions that he went to see the Green Men. That Arya sees the God's Eye and thinks of like the Green Men are hyped up a whole bunch. The Green Men are hyped up. You have the Green Men in the World of Ice and Fire book, and then you have them in Fire and Blood with stuff that's going to probably come back later this season. Like, the Green Men are a major thing that George is hyped up for like, it is no exaggeration to say that he's hyped them up for 30 years since the beginning of the series, and he has intentionally kept things vague. Like, he has like Mira Reed's story about her father cut off, where Bran asks her about the Green Men, and she's like, that's a story. She does like the Maz Kanata thing, like, that's a story for another day or whatever, you know. Like, George R. and people avoid going to the God's Eye. They don't visit the Isle of Faces. Like, even in the Fire and Blood, the deal with the Green Men is kept ambiguous and vague. Like, George R. Martin has intentionally kept Green Men stuff a mystery. He doesn't want to reveal it, and it's pretty clear that it's going to be the big twist at the end of the series. Like, it's going to be a big twist at the end of the series. What's the deal with the Green Men? It's all going to come out. Like, I don't think any book fan is going to disagree with me on there that it seems like, yeah, the Green Men have to be explained in some way. So okay, that I bring that up. The 30 years and like 7 books, you know, all these different books that mention them and allude to them in these like very vague terms, and then you just have them show up. You have them show up in broad daylight, and like I don't know, and it's just like it feels weird, and obviously other people feel the same way as me. If other people feel similar, I'm not alone in that. Like wow, like. You're not okay. Not only are you just showing them very casually in broad daylight. People say like, oh, they didn't show him casually. They showed him last season, and it was in like a dream sequence. And it was like they should have stayed in the dream sequence. You know, like that's like the dream sequence is kind of like bad enough, but like fine, show him in a dream sequence. You have some plausible deniability that this is just a dream or a vision. This isn't actually real. But having them show up in real life is kind of weird. And then I think having them look exactly how the legends or whatever describes them is it again, this is me feeling like people are probably going to hate me for this, but it feels distinctly un-George R.R. Martin. You know, like I think me and Preston talked about this on stream, that especially with like mythical creatures in the story and then just in his other work, George R.R. Martin very rarely has, this is just George's writing style, he very rarely has the legends be exactly how the thing really is. He instead goes to like that there's a kernel of truth in the legends. Like the good example is like the giants. Like when the giants are first established in the story, in a Game of Thrones, he describes them like in the stories of Old Nan, they're like giants that wear like clothes and live in big houses and have like big swords and big pots. Like they're like Jack and the Beanstalk giants in like the stories. And then you meet a giant in Storm of Swords, and they're like Sasquatches. You know, they're Sasquatches. They have like really big elephant-like feet, and like and like they're scientifically plausible. Like George R. R. Martin, he loves his science stuff. Like he freaks out about the dragon number of wings all the time.
The legs.
The legs, like he gets hung up on that, and then he gets like, and he's like, I'm gonna have giants in my story, but they're gonna be giants with like anatomically plausible limbs, and like they make sense from a biology standpoint. They have like squat head, like they're like apes. And then another example is like in the World of Ice and Fire book, he mentions like that there's centaur legends, there's like half human, half horse legends, in that the maesters are like, oh, those, the explanation for those is that they're people that seen Dothraki, like horse riders, for the first time, and thinking like that he's taking it from like real history, where like the Aztecs apparently thought the same thing about conquistadors, that they thought they were like one being fused together when they saw conquistadors on horses. And like if you watch, like if you read Fever Dream, like the vampires in Fever Dream are like not like the legends, but there's something more like biologically plausible. So here's the thing, that's George R. R. Martin's MO. Whenever he introduces a fantasy thing, like a fantasy legend, when you actually meet them, they're not like how the legends describe. And this is why people like, even in the World of Ice and Fire book, it mentions that the Green Men, in the maester who's writing the World of Ice and Fire, is like, maybe the antlers on the Green Men are actually like headdresses like of like priests or something like that. And I could totally see that being like a George R. R. Martin thing, that like, yeah, you actually meet them and they're not like these mythical, like me and Preston keep using the word like satyr, like this like mythical Greek creature that's like half like goat, half human, like Mr. Thomas. Like you just know that when you meet them, they're not going to look like that. Like that's just that George R. R. Martin just doesn't write like that. He needs to have some sort of subversion or some twist. So that's like that's the weird thing is we see, okay, not only are they like, we see them very casually and they're real. This thing that's been hyped up for a very long time. It's just like, boom, they're there when he's trying to take a shit. But also like they're like actually like fantasy creatures, which just doesn't feel like it. I'm blending show and book, but like they don't feel like that's a George R. R. Martin thing to me. So that's why like I want to be in George R. R. Martin's head. Like I want him to do a Nada vlog about the Green Men and how like these are not my Green Men. He like disowns them. Like I don't know. That'd be really funny because it just doesn't feel like him. So like it just feels weird to me. In addition, it's like, why are they even there? Like I guess we'll see what they do with it the rest of the season, because they do have a character that might have a thing with the Green Men. So we will see. Has that come up in the episodes that you've seen of the Green Men return?
Not really, no.
Okay.
It doesn't.
Maybe they're holding off.
Again, I've only seen the first 4, and the Green Men is just, I think it's just a cameo. Like, again, an Easter egg for book fans. I know that guy that replied to you, that idiot, was like, whoa, like, no, he's fundamentally wrong. They were literally just there for book fans as like a haha cameo, and that's it.
Yeah,
it is not there for any other reason, not that I can think of. Why would they be? You know, like why? Like casual fans don't care. It's just like a monster. Ooh, but that's about it. You're right. Like the Green Men are literally just there, so book fans can be like, ooh, ooh, ooh. They can do the Leo DiCaprio pointing at the TV meme. I mean, that's pretty much what it boils down to. I low-key feel bad for people who came to this podcast expecting us to discuss the like what we liked about it. It was a fine episode. It really was. The Gullet was pretty cool. You don't ever see naval battles like that as much.
You said you talked to people about like ancient Greek naval battles, and they're like, yeah, it's pretty accurate to how they function. And I was like, yeah, this is very cool. You're right. You don't see like the ramming and like because you're right that a lot of it is the canon stuff. A lot of people focus on like canon battles.
And that's like Renaissance era stuff, like right? After or later than that.
Renaissance era. Yeah, people focus on like 1700s, 1600s kind of like naval battles. You're right. We don't really see naval battles before the invention of the cannon, because like I'm thinking like 300 Rise of an Empire or something like that, and that's like not good.
All that was really ramming and then getting like shot troops on the other boat and then or setting it on fire and then like shooting arrows. For the most part, that's pretty much what happened here. Everyone had armor on, or at least the Westerosi forces did. They were shooting arrows. I think they had like a trebuchet. It was pretty cool. I kind of wish there were a little more ships and was more chaotic, but at the same time, maybe it was too chaotic because some people were saying how they couldn't really tell who was winning. It was just like a slugfest of ships.
You brought up a good point that it like starts in the middle of the action too, which is kind of weird. Like you see them, they're like, oh, those are the Triarchy on the horizon, and then it's like boom, cut to another scene, and then you're back and it's in the midst of the battle. Like it would be great to see like that, like hold, like, you know, I'm like thinking in my head where they're like they're coming in. There's like the buildup of the ships like getting closer and closer. Like why would you not include that in the scene? Like yeah, I just feel kind of weird. I will say it is like great to see, because this is like I was reminded of when they started having Lohar fight the sea snake. It was like seeing the book fight with Victorian and like Sari, like the guy on the shields. Do you remember that in Feast? Like, yeah, like that is a really cool fight. That is an awesome battle scene by George. Like that they're fighting on the deck of the ship while it's like raining, and they're like slamming their axes on the shields and like coming them to fight me, and like they're like pushing people off. Like that's really cool. So it was cool to see like a fight that's like in like the main series kind of adapted in a way that's cool. Yeah, like that's the thing is like, yeah, it's funny. Like the action's really good. That whole action scene, like it's memorable. That's very memorable, and like they're switching it up, having them go through like the narrow canyon thing and then turn around and fight. Like all that's pretty good. It's just that like in between, there's like there's a kind of like a pacing problem in the series in the show, I think. Yeah. I'm curious, like I'm assuming next episode it's gonna be Rhaenyra mourning the death of her son.
Yes.
And then maybe taking King's Landing, because we need to get going with this stuff, right? We need to get going. If we have 6 episodes, we only have 5 left.
I would also argue episode 2 is much better than episode 1. You don't need these large-scale battles, these impressive CGI battles to like have a good episode. Again, I would say for the next 2 episodes, the show gets better. Episode 4 is fine, but like 1 was okay. 2 was, I liked it, and 3 was really good. And I think the audience will like 3 quite a bit, actually. But
that's kind of like our opinion with the Hot D for the past couple of years, is that like, yeah, it's inconsistent. Like sometimes there's like a really, really strong episode, and then there's kind of like a not great episode or a really bad episode, and then there's a strong episode. Like it's very weird. Like like I need to like keep track of who's the writer of each episode and see like if it's like a writer problem.
I hate to break it to you, but the writing problem thing is also inconsistent, because in my opinion, season 2 episode 2 is one of the best episodes, and season 2 episode 8 is one of the worst. That's the dream one. And the writer for that both is Sarah Hess.
Sarah Hess.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. It really is that old, like I said this in my review, and I'll say it to you here in the audience, it really is like that old-timey saying about, Every time a Targaryen is born, the gods flip a coin. Every time these fucking guys write an episode, the gods flip a coin. It's crazy how inconsistent it is. But then you go back to the original Game of Thrones and even Night of the Seven, consistently it's like banger, 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 banger. Whoa! What the fuck? Like, constantly. And then here it's like, this episode was pretty good. This was okay. This was dog shit. This was okay. This was dog shit. This was good. I don't know what's going on with these guys. I really, truly don't. I don't, but sometimes it feels like really good original stuff, and then it feels like bullshit fanfiction. IGN coming out of nowhere, giving the episode a 10 out of 10. Really? Really? And then me bringing this up in my review, and people in my comments going like, I don't know about you, Carbide. I enjoyed it. It's a shame you can't enjoy it. The episode was fine. I was entertained, but it's a 10 out of 10?
Not 10 out of 10. Like, that's the thing is, you bring up a huge point, Carbide, that people today, for some reason, it needs to be totally polarizing. Like, it needs to be like, you either hate it, or it's the best fucking thing ever. Like, yeah, like, this person saying that, like, oh, you can't enjoy fun. It's like, I didn't say that I didn't enjoy it. I just said that I don't think it's 10 out of 10 material. Like, I don't know what the deal with that is. It's a very common thing these days.
I can tell you what the deal with it is right now, and people are gonna roll their eyes, but motherfuckers, you guys aren't doing this shit. We are. We're doing the YouTube thing. We see it more than you do. It really is young kids. No offense, Trey. I know you're a young guy too in the Gen Z shit, but you know this for a fact. It is the young Gen Zs who grew up watching millennials be like crazy, polarizing assholes on YouTube, and then being affected by that. And now that they're old enough to like engage in this discussion, they were doing the same stupid shit that we were doing. I'm millennial. We were doing, you know? Like, because millennials would do this thing where it's like everything is crazy and we had no nuance, but we were also very new to the internet and we acted like idiots. But instead of learning from us and being better than we were, these guys are doing the same thing. It's like, oh my god, this is the greatest episode ever. Ryan Condal, how dare you? This is the worst thing since Hitler. Really?
Right,
there's nothing in between,
the two
guys?
opinions today. This is the two opinions today. Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like this, like the opinion right now is like with the Supergirl shit. Like, you're gonna have the grifters saying it's the worst thing ever because, you know, female. Like, really? There's nobody who thinks like the movie's gonna be just okay. It's not even out yet, but really? Same with House of the Dragon. Like, it was fine. It wasn't bad, but a 10 out of 10? Frankly, suck my dick. Like, that it was not. That it was not.
Oh, I was trying to remember what the review... Like, I'm looking at list of review bomb incidents. I'm, like, seeing here, yeah.
Oh, that's another thing. I brought that up, too. Remember with Night of the Seven Kingdoms going up against the Breaking Bad fans? What was that about?
Bad. That's... Yeah. Like, yeah, I'm looking at that right now. I was trying to remember what it was. I remember that there was, like, this review bombing thing where they were, like, trying to, like, put it against Breaking Bad. Like, that's the thing. No episode of Night of the Seven Kingdoms is better than Ozymandias and Breaking Bad.
Oh, dude.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, I love Night of the Seven Kingdoms. It was great. Like, I don't think people understand what 10 out of 10 means. You know, like 10 out of 10 means like for a movie, you're like it's better than Lawrence of Arabia. You know, it's better than like, you know, like it's like that means
look at that. I just sent it to you here on
No.
So
like look at this.
So
no way.
According to this, right? Season 3, episode 1 got a 9.4, okay? On the same level as the Rook's Rest episode 4 battle from last season. Now, here's the crazy part, right? You ready for this? The episode that I really liked, again, was Season 2, episode 2. That was the episode where Rhaenyra has that whole argument with Daemon, and just there's a lot of really good character moments, you know, like Rhys Ifans yelling at Aegon, and Aegon going, give it to Cole. Like, there was a lot of really good moments in that episode. But you know why that episode is rated lower at an 8.2 than this fucking thing? Is because that episode is boring. It's just two people in a room talking. That's boring. We need more dragons, more fucking battles, more this, more that. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, this is crazy. So this episode, the Gullet battle episode, season 3, episode 1, 9.4, season 1, episode 8, Lord of the Tides. You know, the episode where I'll sit the throne today. like that is 9.3. Like that is like a point that is point 1 lower than that. Like no, I refuse to believe that. Like no, like the season 1 episode 8 is so much more powerful emotionally, so much acting talent in it, emotional connection with the characters, and down to like Viserys dying and his final words being the name of his wife, you know?
But do you notice the shift here from season 1 to 2? Within that 2 years, the fucking Tumblr people, the Twitter people, they hopped onto this because pretty actors on screen in costumes.
Right.
So therefore, we got to make that our entire person. Crazy. Absolutely. Crazy. These people don't understand that 2 people in a room talking has what the series has always been about. That's some of the best moments in the entire fucking franchise. If Game of Thrones came out today, the episodes where like Tywin and Arya are talking, or Robert and Cersei, those episodes would be rated lower. They're like boring. They'll be boring. This absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy to me. But
I can tell I'm getting old because I'm like battle episodes are not they're not my favorite episodes anymore. I could see like a kid being like, the Battle of the Bastards, like that's the best episode of Game of Thrones. And like, I don't know. Like, I'd have to, I think I might pick like an episode where there's people talking in rooms, you know, like where it's acting talent. Because my favorite episode of House of the Dragon is season 1, episode 8 with Viserys. And that's all like just acting talent from the Velaryon guy giving his all, the bastards, and then you have like Daemon, and you have Viserys, like the emotional connection between all these characters and these actors acting their hearts out, is what I'm realizing that like I'm a boomer now. Like I prefer that, you know, like I prefer that to like a battle episode. Like think about like the fucking crab feeder episode, you know, like what was that like.
I believe that was episode 3. Pretty sure it was 3.
Episode 3. Totally forgettable.
I'm sorry.
Totally forgettable battle.
Yes, it was 3. Never mind. I'm sorry. 3. Mm-hmm.
Totally forgettable battle. Totally forgettable villain. Like all that was just dragons and people in fire and battle. And like that's a very unmemorable episode to me. I couldn't tell you anything about that episode besides Daemon being really stupid and like surrendering himself over this, and he like has a boss battle. Like that's lame. So like it's funny. Yeah, we are definitely back
in House of the Dragon Game of Thrones season. It's as worse as it's ever been. Trey, do you mind if we wrap things up here?
No, you're good.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. As always, we will see you all next time. Have a good one. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Game of Thrones podcast. I'm your host, Carmine of Red Team Review, and I'm joined here once again by Mr. Preston Jacobs. Hello, Preston. It's been a minute.
Hey, how are you? How did you like episode 10 of season 2?
Well, we just got done watching that episode specifically, and it literally, as I've been saying for weeks now, it really does feel like all they really did was just finish the last 2 scripts for the last 2 episodes of season 2, and as such, season 3 will technically really only have 6 episodes. I liked it better than episode 1, but now that you watched episode 2 with me, do you feel as though they probably could have combined 1 and 2 into one giant episode, maybe trimmed the fat here and there?
No, I mean, I think that you needed... In fact, I mean, I agree that there's too much and there's a lot of fat, but it's like, in my mind, and granted the source material is affecting me, but it just seems so much like death of Jace leads to King's Landing and Rhaenyra taking the throne. But of course, that's like not how the show is. The show is Rhaenyra planned on taking the throne. Oh, by the way, the Gullet happened, and we're just going to continue on with the same plan. Like, there's not the same cause and effect of like, oh shit, you took out Jace, now you motherfuckers are going to pay. And I think in that sense, like her sitting on the throne doesn't feel as triumphant or epic as it ought to, because it's not this powerful emotional response to Jace's death. It's just, the beginning of season 2, you get a little bit of mourning for Jace, but I feel like there should have been more. I feel she should have been driven by Jace rather than giving Alicent something to do. So you had to have this secret plan of Alicent giving up the city bullshit, which I think everything that's wrong with this episode stems from we need to give Alicent something to do.
What do you mean?
I think there's a lot of side plots and wasted time and random shit and stuff that is taken from some characters and given to Alicent because for some reason Alicent is the main character. It seems like more so than even Rhaenyra. And maybe it's because, spoilers on where the show is going, like Alicent becomes the main character. She's the only character left. So they need to sort of like shift the tone. But there was just so much random stuff given to Alicent that I felt kind of ruined the pacing of the episode. And so forth, but, for example, in episode 1, creating this situation where Aemond is scared and needs to be convinced to go. And so half of the episode is people waiting for Aemond and Alicent trying to convince Aemond to go. And then this one, they give her the convincing of the gold cloaks scene, which doesn't fit at all in motivation, and ruins the surprise when the gold cloaks come in and are like, yeah, we're with Daemon. Like, so much fucking time given to Alicent.
I disagree with you on it not being one giant episode, because what I would have done, had we had the season 2 that we were promised with the 10 episodes, this would have been a good 9 and 10. But here, and I say this because you haven't seen what I've seen. I've seen 3 and 4 already. You haven't. Right. I just feel as though season 3 needs more episodes. Technically, yes, this is season 3, but also not, as we just said. What I would have done is had Gullet and the taking of King's Landing simultaneously. As Rhaenyra is ascending to power in a very bloody way, she's also losing something as well. I agree with you about Alicent being the one that convinces the gold cloaks almost. It almost feels like Luther Largent really isn't Daemon's creature, but he's really just doing this because of Alicent. I agree with you. Like, Alicent doing all the playing the game was fine for me until the gold cloaks thing. As for the Luther Largent thing, this is the problem with House of the Dragon. Lack of setup. Okay? Mm-hmm. Like Rhaena and her whole thing about how, which again will be set up later, her not having a dragon, they sprinkle that here and there in season 1, and her feelings about not having a dragon never really pop up again, ever. I discussed this with Trey for the podcast for episode 1, but there's a moment where you kind of see a hint of it in the last episode of season 1, where Daemon is listing off all of the dragons on Dragonstone, and he even says how there's some out there that are riderless, and Rhaena looks up and she's worried. Like, okay, cool. And there is an episode later on, I apologize to the audience and to you, like, I'm not trying to, like, jump the gun too much, but this is a problem with House of the Dragon. They had moments to set up in season 1. Rhaena, Luther Largent coming in.
Sure.
Why wasn't he why wasn't he in season 1? They had moments to set up in season 1. They chose not to. Instead, they chose to focus on this, it's supposed to be a 3-way television show focus, but it's really 2 ways, Rhaenyra and Alicent. But Alicent isn't that important. It is important to set up our side characters. Game of Thrones did this phenomenally. House of the Dragon suffers with this. Why spend so much time with Alan and Adam, not giving them focus? The dragon seeds should also be given a bit more focus. Yet we have to spend time with Alicent.
Right. Like, we get an absolutely out of nowhere random scene with Jasper Wilde and Alicent that was completely out of nowhere and completely unnecessary.
You know what? Orwild had Jasper arrested without a scene for it, that would have made me respect Orwild a bit more and would have made him more crafty. Like, oh, I knew you were coming and I had him detained because I knew.
Yeah, that would have been funny. Yeah, that would have been funny. But instead, it's just like it's a coincidence that he happens to, for some reason, want to rape Alicent as punishment for her scheming, and Orwild catches him. Like it's so random, right? Like all these. You're right.
Like I said.
Yeah.
It should have been one giant episode. The first part, in my opinion, the first part would have been a race against time for Alicent to keep up her end of the bargain, to get Aemon out of there. Because they could not take King's Landing as long as Aemon was there. But also, they kind of could have taken King's Landing, kind of also not really. Because had Rhaenyra, Daemon, and the 3 other Dragon Seeds, and Baela, that's what? Rhaenyra, Daemon, Dragon Seeds, that's 6 dragons against 1. Like, they could have taken Vhagar out, like, leave Rhaenyra out of it because they need to protect her. 5 dragons against 1 does the job.
But I also I think it's absolutely hilarious that this whole episode happens and there is 0 mention of Dreamfire. 0 mention of Dreamfire in a sense of like we're about to attack a city and the one dragon to defend it is Dreamfire. We don't know if Helena could conceivably try to defend the city. Like it's something we should think about. You know,
Alicent in the last season, Alicent said that Helena is not going to do anything. Like that Helena,
right? But you still got to think about it. Like if it's a betrayal, which because they're thinking it's a betrayal, the betrayal would be all of a sudden Helena would show up with Dreamfire, and then
trap.
Yeah, and then so you should mention the fact that you are coming in with dragons. And there is a dragon in the city that could fight you, and a dragon rider in the city that could fight you. That should come up. In the show's
defense, it kind of did. Daemon does tell Ulf and Hugh to stay on guard and make sure no one approaches from the air. So in a sense,
but that was if Aemon came back, I think. But they never kind of mentioned that it's that it's a possibility of Dreamfire. And then when Alicent and Helena are trying to escape the city, and then they can't get out, there's 0 mention of Dreamfire. Like, why wouldn't she try to get to her dragon?
That, by the way, to the audience, we were watching it. Preston texts me the entire time. He goes, "Where the fuck is Dreamfire? Why isn't Dreamfire here?" For those of you who don't remember, Dreamfire is the name of Helena's dragon. She is a dragon rider, and Dreamfire does briefly appear in season 1 when they're at the funeral for Lena, and that whole drama happens. And she has to fly. So
it's ridiculous. You're trying to, what's the best way to try to escape the city? Like, just take off on your dragon. Like, I don't get it. Plus, in a dragon rider sense, and I'm just talking look, you have a cat, right?
Yeah.
Say you're trying to escape someplace. Okay. Somebody's like, Karma, you need to leave. Some people are coming to your place. Okay. Do you at least think about your cat?
Of course. Absolutely.
Right? And you have no telepathic bond with your cat. You have no telepathic bond with your cat, and you still think, "Fuck, I need to escape. I'm gonna take my cat," or at least think about the cat. At least
a lot of people are laughing. They know you're not a cat owner because what's funny is there are so many memes about if you were ever assaulted in your own home and beaten up, the cat would probably join in kicking your ass because that's.
Oh, but I mean that's kind of funny, but but the point is people think about their pets. People think about their pets. They have emotional connection to their pets. Mm-hmm. Helena, first of all, the dragon seems like the best fucking way to get out of the city. Second of all, she would have an emotional connection to the dragon telepathically. Third of all, she would have a connection to it just in a pet owner sense.
You're right, because it would have made more sense had they tried to escape on Dreamfire. And the plan was to make sure that the dragon pit was guarded by the dragon seeds, that they would watch over it just in case.
That would have been really cool. They make it to the dragon, they'd make it to the dragon pit, and instead Ulf the White and Hugh the Hammer land their dragons there, and they're like, "Fuck, we got to turn around."
Or Sea Smoke or Baela.
Yeah. By the way, where the fuck is Adam? By the way, like they're just like Adam's allowed to fuck off. Like they all abandon their post, and then Adam's just allowed to fuck off. Oh my god! Like the point the dragon seeds going to the God's Eye and back was so useless and dumb. And then they talk to Alice Rivers about what? Nothing. Like what the fuck? Like
you're missing the battle.
What an incredibly dumb plot. Like they had no time to get there. They had no time to get back. At least Daemon mocks them and is like, "You waited 2 fucking days," and then we're like, "What?" Like he lampshades it. He's like, "What fucking idiocy is this?"
Like I said, in regards to Alicent, the gold. I was wondering because I've only seen this episode once before I saw it with you right now. I was wondering like, why does she come back? But I guess the gold cloaks grab her and they bring her into the throne room. Yeah, they must have like
captured her or something.
So Luther Largent betrays her? Like, does he order them to grab her? Because
you're right.
They could have escaped.
You're completely right. You're completely
but no, of course, it's just contrivance to have Alicent be there as she's looking like at her dead father or at Rhaenyra's hands. Yada. By the way, Emma Darcy, during the behind the scenes stuff, they said they wanted a sword for season 3. What are your thoughts on like Emma Darcy's Rhaenyra being the one to behead Otto? Because in the books, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's Daemon that does it.
I mean, I think it's fine. I didn't think that she should. I think she shouldn't have been crying over that. Like Otto Hightower is a piece of shit. He's always a piece of shit. Her sons are dead because it was his scheming that started the goddamn war, and it's all his fucking fault. She should be happy to take his head. That motherfucker caused her sons. He caused her so much pain, so much death is because of him, and her sons are dead because of him. She should have been happy to take that fucking head.
I disagree with you on this, and I'll defend the whole decision to have her being very emotional because Rhaenyra's never taken a life. It's vastly different ordering someone's death versus being the person that swings the sword. And there's this whole thing about that with the Starks, Game of Thrones. You all know the story. Rhaenyra is just not that person. She has always relied on Daemon to do that. And now there's just this rush of emotions, this thing that she was promised her whole entire life, and now she has to kill this man that she's also known her entire life, but it's also her best friend and maybe kind of girlfriend's father, and it's just a rush of emotions. She just lost a son, and a couple weeks ago, another son, and it's just, I get it. You know, like only a crazy person takes pleasure in killing. Is pretty much beheading, massively different if it's like with poison or whatever, but beheading another human being. She's not that person, and she never has been. But I will grant you that the writing here, specifically for Otto, has been very inconsistent from seasons 1 to 2. I remember in the season 1, episode 9, Green Council, how Otto literally tells the Lord Commander, go over there to Dragonstone, make it quick, make it clean, and then couple of days later in season 2 episode 2, Aegon has the whole scheme about sending the Kingsguard over there to kill her, and Otto is just completely and utterly disgusted by this scheme. But a couple of days ago you were totally down for having her assassinated, yet here like the writing is inconsistent for a lot of the characters.
Yeah, it's all off that like we can honestly have a situation where Rhaenyra is flirting with Alicent, talking about how Aegon and Aemond need to be killed and that Aegon is going to be beheaded, and flirting with her. And then the next episode, she kills her fucking dad, and she's like, "Oh my god, my dad!" Like the plan was that your son was going to get beheaded. And your dad got beheaded instead. I will tell you, given the choice between one's dad and one's son, most people would choose their dad to get beheaded versus their son. But especially when their dad is such a fucking piece of shit like Otto Hightower. But so it's like having this whole very sad, I'm crying because I killed your dad. That dad was responsible for her sons dying and the entire war starting.
Aemon. is real. Aemon is really responsible for the death of Lucerys, and
I'm
it was
sorry.
an
Who did the
accident.
fucking Green Council, man? Who did the Green Council? Who usurped the fucking throne?
The
That
Green
was
Council, like, it's different from the books because the Green Council is something that Otto, Jasper Wilde, and someone else, I forgot who, was preparing for. Alicent made it very clear that she was out of the loop. She did not know they were preparing for this.
Yeah.
Beesbury did not know, and Kristen Cole
That's
was
what
not
I'm
in it.
because it's all Otto.
Yeah, that is true. And, however, again, in the defense here, Otto does
In the
go
book,
to
in the books,
Dragonstone.
Alicent's in the loop, and in the show, Alicent is out of the loop. But in the books, it's very clearly Otto's fucking plan. It's Otto. It's his fault. I think she should have had a glorious seating on the throne, and should have been like dark. Like look where she is now. Look how the deaths of her two sons have changed her, and now she's kind of a more vicious character because some viciousness is going to come up with regards to you have to buy later the craziness of like how she acts versus Adam and the craziness of how she acts versus Nettles. And in this case, Nettles is going to be replaced with Rhaena. But like,
That's a very good point.
you need to have Rhaenyra go on a journey of crazy. And that was the perfect chance of it. But instead she's just like, I've got to kill Alicent's dad. Her fucking dad was a piece of shit. It's just so weird to have this be this new point of tension between Alicent and Rhaenyra when they'd made a fucking deal to kill Aegon. You know, had they not made the deal to kill Aegon, and I guess it was tacit that Aemond would die too, because the only thing she asks is for Rhaenyra, is for Helena and Jaehaera to be spared. Had they maybe not had that scene, I would buy it more because now she's killing a family member, but like, it's killing a family member after Alicent has already shrewdly given up family members for the chopping block.
That's true.
It's just so
That's
fucking
true.
weird.
What did you? I kind of spoiled this for you briefly. You said you were cool with it on stream about who is responsible for imprisoning Otto, and I was telling you, like, guess who is, and you're like, the Beesberries, the Mary, like, who? Laris. Laris took care of Otto. Was there ever a rivalry between the two? I'm so confused. Like, why?
No, I mean, that's the thing is there's no Laris. There's just no he's just wild card. There's no logic to anything he ever does, so it doesn't matter. Like, why did he kill? Why did he kill his own family for Harrenhal to get closer to Alicent? And then
he needed to get he needed to. I guess the idea was he needed to get, in order for Alicent to have Otto come back as hand, the current hand needs to die by some horrific accident, and Laris was responsible for that. Okay, but Laris and Otto, like, in Game of Thrones, it made sense that Littlefinger moved against Tyrion, because if there's anyone at court who could figure out everything Littlefinger was doing was Tyrion, so framing him for Joffrey's murder, okay, like, on point. Is there ever a moment?
I just realized that the only reason that Otto disappears and is imprisoned, which is a show only thing, is so that they could give stuff for Alicent to do. Like, Alicent can't be going around scheming if Otto is still ruling the kingdom. And Aemond can't, like, they can't have all these like arguments between her and Aemond if Otto is still ruling the kingdom.
Otto, last time we see Otto in the beginning of season 2, he was headed back to Hightower. Like, he had, remember, Aegon gives Cole.
Oh, right, he gives Cole. You're right, you're right. But then they needed, but
so he wasn't going to be in King's Landing anyway. Like,
I guess. I mean, in the book, in the source material, he just lingers at court.
Right.
But he just lingers at court and then they kill him. But
in the show, he was actually going to leave King's Landing, and then Laris swoops him up. But was there ever a rivalry there? Like, why as a gift to Daemon? Like, what? It's interesting because, like, Laris is playing the game, but what
game? Like, what are you trying to get? Like,
yeah. Interesting. Okay. Like I was saying earlier in regards to the dragon seeds, I guess I really do think Rhaenyra is low-key trying to have these assholes killed. You're sending 3 untested, untrained dragon riders to fight Vhagar. I guess the plan is to have them all kill each other, because these dragon seeds are not really reliable. When Daemon was slapping around Ulf, like, I could see, like, Ulf getting like, ooh, you motherfucker, I have a goddamn dragon. How dare you put your hands on me? I could see him.
Daemon has a goddamn dragon, right? I mean, they're trying to, you know, they're seeding their betrayal, which has been, you know, the one, I suppose, positive aspect of their lingering around, their ridiculously stupid plot to go to the God's Eye and back is the fact that they talk about how they want castles and that's it, you know. But man, what a ridiculous, like, plot for them. What a ridiculous plot.
So are you telling me you didn't like this episode as much as 1, or you like 1 better?
No, I mean, the first episode, I think the first half of the first episode is horrible, but the second half of the episode is really incredible and grand. And this episode is similar in structure in that the first half is a bunch of just fucking wasting time kind of bullshit again. And the second half, though, they didn't pull off the grandness. Like, her taking the throne should have been majestic. You know how her, like, Rhaenyra's crowning scene and how, like, brilliant her crowning scene was? It's simple, but the music and the and people approaching and stuff like that, it was a really good crowning scene for her.
You're not talking about the ending of episode 1, season 1. You're talking about the moment where the Kingsguard delivers her the crown.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes of all time.
Yeah, it's beautifully done. It's beautifully done with just how it's shot and the music and everything. It could have been very, very similar, you know, with good music, and to have a majestic kind of taking of the throne.
But it wasn't like that in the books, though. Remember, in the books, she almost seems so distracted by the allure of the throne that she cuts her legs on the blades. That doesn't happen here.
Which is too bad because the cutting that would have mirrored Viserys back in episode 1, season 1, leading to the downfall. It's too bad, but you know, it would have been I don't know, it would have been interesting. It would have, you know.
Wait a minute. Dark. That's a good point. And actually, honestly, that's why I thought they did the fucking swords on the ground, is when she eventually takes the throne, to mirror that scene in the books where she cuts her leg on the swords. But that doesn't happen. So what's the fucking point of the swords on the ground, bro?
No, there's no point of the swords on the ground.
Was there like an assassin who tried like coming at them from the sides? Or like, okay, let's put swords on the sides just in case. Is that why? Like, why is the swords on the ground? Was that ever answered? I don't think it's ever answered. I thought the whole purpose of the swords on the ground was literally for that one scene in the books where she's walking towards the throne and the allure is so great, she's not paying attention and she cuts her legs on the swords. That's how it happens in the books. I guess, fuck it, whatever. So you liked episode 1 better than episode 2? I
do, but the Battle of the Gullet is the reason I like episode 1. If it were not for the Battle of the Gullet, no. They would be the same for me, but at least there's you know, I didn't hate everything. I thought Aemond arriving in Harrenhal was fine. Paxter Strong, man, Paxter Strong was almost a hero, almost fucking saved the world. You know, stabbed Aemond. But too bad Alice Rivers is gonna save him, but. Man, almost saved the world. Paxter Strong, man. Should build that's Simon Strong's like son in the show, Paxter Strong. But he almost saves the world. But
by stabbing Aemond.
Yeah. Good for him. Because you think like, oh, he's got these like stupid sons. No, man, he almost fucking saved the whole fucking world. Some other weird stuff. I'm just thinking of random scenes. They, for some reason, had a Baela Allen scene, which is really early to try to seed their shipping.
You think that? I think they're just having a conversation. You think that they were trying to like foreshadow what eventually happens with Allen?
I think so. And
by the way, how old is that actress, Baela actress? Let me look real quick because Our boy Abu Bakr Salim, I think he's in his 40s.
He's like 95. Yeah, Abu Bakr Salim.
95?
Like 95.
No, he's not 95.
No.
What? She's in her like mid-20s, and
yeah,
Abu Bakr.
He's like 40, 41 something.
Salim age. Abu Bakr. He's 33 years old? God damn, he does not look
Wow,
it.
he's so young. Oh my God, he looks so old.
he looks like a grizzled veteran. God,
that's the
than
inverse.
him.
I mean, that goes against the stereotype. The stereotype, is of course that black people tend to look younger than other ethnicities. The statement is black don't crack, but he looks very old.
You know what it is? It's him being bald. It's him being bald, man. That's what it is. It's him being bald. Like, I don't know. When he had hair as father in Raised by Wolves, like, he looked super young. But he's 33. I'm older than him? That's crazy. That's crazy. Wow.
I work with a woman who's over 50 who looks like she's 25. It's insane. Yeah.
But no, I didn't think they were like setting that up. But
by the way, Corlys in his armor, not sinking, even though Thailand sinks in his armor.
I don't know where Thailand is. I thought he was going to show up because the Triarchy forces are like plaguing the coast. Which, okay, cool, but also,
I guess Thailand as a character plays an important role later. So it's like I feel like they shouldn't be killing him off, but maybe they're killing him off. I don't know.
What did you think of them? Of Daemon, essentially like her walk. By the way, for me, Daemon. Top form in this episode. I loved as they're walking.
Daemon was great in this episode. I'm glad they gave him something to do, and I'm glad they gave him lines. Mm-hmm. He was, he was the little devil on
Rhaenyra's shoulder.
Rhaenyra's shoulders. It was great.
Great.
I think they gave him some fight scenes. He was, and that's the thing is I'm sad that they took like Alicent stole the gold cloaks thing from him, even though that he comes in and he's just like, oh yeah, I remember Daemon, you were the head of the gold cloaks. You're like, yeah, that's the whole fucking point. That's the whole fucking point of him being in the gold cloaks, is that it allows them to take the city. Keep in mind that like Princess and the Queen was written first, and so the gold cloaks turning for Rhaenyra was written first, and then when Rogue Prince is written, Daemon is made the head of the gold cloaks, so that, and that's detailed more, to justify that turn later. Now, is it silly that it's fucking 30 years later? I think in the show it's 20 years later, but that anyone would fucking remember? Absolutely. That's fucking stupid. Like almost everyone would have retired by that point. Like, like an 18-year-old would be 48. It's silly that there would be, that the gold cloaks would turn because Daemon like led them 30 years prior. But, in the show there's less time and whatever, but he gives all that reasoning. But then what was the Alicent scene for? This
is exactly what I told you earlier. The problem with House of the Dragon is there's so many scenes that they could have done in season 1 they chose not to. Luther Largent being like a young, fresh-faced recruit, that could have been a thing. Same with Rhaena. Again, she briefly appears in this episode, which I kind of love Lady Jane Eyre. She's such an asshole, but I kind of like it.
I know. It's so weird, though. It's like, how long has Rhaena been gone? And then she's just like, oh, you're back. No, you can't come in. Like, what? What? The king consort's daughter. Like, what? Gonna give her an escort? Gonna give her like, what are you gonna do?
I like this episode better. A little better than episode 1. Again, on a rainy day, maybe I'll just edit both of them together and trim some of the fat, because I really do feel as though this could have been a decent premiere. It could have opened as such, but here it is. Here we are. So, you didn't like it as much. You liked episode 1.
I liked episode 1, but only because of the Blackwater. I mean, because of the not the Blackwater, but of the Gullet. Only. The rest of the episode, I besides the Gullet stuff, I really actually quite disliked episode 1. But because of the Gullet. The Gullet was shot beautifully. I liked the fights and the battles. It was very interesting. It was new. That's the thing. It was new. And we'd never seen anything like that before. And so here, I don't know if there was anything kind of new. But it's a lot of characters, again, like acting in ways that they shouldn't be acting oddly. Like Jasper Wilde, anybody else, just why are they doing what they're doing? I don't know.
I can promise you that episode 3 is vastly different. Every single person that I've spoken to who has seen 2 and 3, who went from 2 to 3, will tell you the increase in quality is insane. The increase, like the writing is way better. It's night and day. And hopefully you feel the same way, because I actually quite liked episode 3 a lot. It's just really gonna feel weird for the audience, because it just feels like a shift. Like this is almost made by different people, and this is kind of on par with how seasons 1 to 2 felt. Because remember, and I was explaining this to someone, because I actually went back and watched a few scenes from season 1. Aegon in season 1 was an asshole. He reminded me of Draco Malfoy. He even makes like the stupid like scared Potter face that Draco makes in Harry Potter. And then season 2 episode 1, we see him be a king, and he's treating with the small folk, because he's actually pretty cool. He's pretty chill. Like he's actually a pretty cool guy. I'm like, oh, he went from being kind of an asshole in the last season, and now he's being cool out here. So I don't know. It feels weird. It feels like they get new writers every season, but it's the same people, I guess.
You're right. It's they go one way with the character, and they're like, let's shock everybody, and go the other way with the character. And then you can only do that so many times before you just have this cast of schizophrenic people doing random ass shit. Random ass shit. Like everybody is just like, let's go down the list and just be like, okay, what is Alice Rivers' motivation?
Alice's Rivers' motivation is basically, I want Harrenhal. We kind of get like a bit of that here. Like, I want Harrenhal. Have the queen give it to me. Like, Damon's right though. Like, you have no name. Who are you? Why would we give it to
that
strangers?
Was just established this, but her motivation last season was prophecy and shit, right?
Right. So were you helping Daemon because you wanted to save the world from the White Walkers, or because you ultimately wanted Harrenhal? Like, if they're establishing that Alice Rivers really doesn't care about what happens to the world, she just wants Harrenhal, okay, fine, but they didn't really make that clear.
So Alice Rivers makes no sense. Jane Eyre Rhaena, like, I don't really understand what they're doing. I don't know Jane Eyre's motivation. I thought she wanted a dragon. Her motivation seems to be I'm just going to be incredibly mean to Rhaena. Like, what's Alicent doing? What's Aemon doing? I'm scared. I'm not scared. Helena, suddenly she's confident. Suddenly she's insecure. Suddenly she knows everything in the future. Suddenly she doesn't, and she's unsure. Everybody is all fucking over the place. The only people that are kind of consistent, I would say, are Corlys and Alan. And that's about it. Everybody else is just all over the fucking place. Just give it a day and they will do something new and crazy. And they're supposed to be wild cards. So many characters are supposed to be unpredictable wild cards, and there's too many of them. Laurys, unpredictable wild card. Alice Rivers, unpredictable wild card. Daemon Targaryen, unpredictable wild card. The Dragon Seeds, unpredictable wild cards.
I want to make this very clear. I thought the episode was better, but
yeah, there's
still like these little weird writing decisions that just.
Yeah, you're right. There needs to be more cohesive connection to previous episodes where it makes more sense. Like I say, like there seems to be a change in the Helena prophecy. There's just constant changes in what people want.
By the way, I'm a little confused about Helena. Like, Helena acts as if she doesn't know any of this, but 2 episodes ago, everything. You knew everything. You had like Bran-like insane powers.
And now you were suddenly confident. Yeah.
what happened to that? Like, you knew everything that was going to happen. Like, you only
And now
know
she's
about
like
Targaryen
shocked
stuff.
when Alicent does stuff. She's like, "What? What was
You
that?
spoke to her.
What?
Yeah, shouldn't you already know that?
You're like, she's like a message from the king. The king? Oh, I thought you fucking knew everything, Helena. This is all new and shocking.
Oh man!
I will not. I will not forgive the fact that there is not a single mention of Dreamfire. That is just atrocious to me. Atrocious. Atrocious. Like, you should be trying to secure one of the most one of the nukes. I'm just saying, like, let's say in the world there were 10 nukes, and you're going into a city. Wouldn't you want to secure one of the nukes?
You know, it's funny, by the way, about this whole thing. Before I wrap this up, I know you got to go, but I got to give a shout out to I'm a Spooky Kitty, who in your episode 1 review, they commented, "This is where I go to be reminded that I'm wrong for enjoying things."
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the first time you look, the show can be very beautifully shot, and there can be really good action, and it can be well acted, and you know it's got a lot of star power with Matt Smith on screen and such.
Mm-hmm.
But like, the thing about you and me is we start watching it the first time and the second time and the third time, and you start like going through it scene by scene, and you're like, oh God, this doesn't like, you're like, oh God, when you start looking at it, when you start examining it really close.
Preston, any last thoughts about this episode? Like I said, I liked it a little bit better than the first one. And again, I really do think that it could have been one giant episode. Perhaps maybe have like Gullet happening at the same time as taking a King's Landing. Maybe the first half was a race against time for Alicent to do all of these things in time to get Rhaenyra in on this whole situation. Though it's kind of tricky because when does she mourn Jace? Episode 3? Sure.
Right. She needs time to mourn Jace, like, yeah. I mean, every episode is supposed to have, like, you know, a big death. And I think people almost forgot about Otto, you know. Comes out and you're like, oh, Otto, right.
Rhys Ifans.
Yeah, and then he's dead. It's kind of like late Game of Thrones when they were bringing back characters just to kill.
Yeah.
Hey, remember Osha? Dead. You know, like that stuff. That
remember
late
Rickon?
Dead.
You don't.
Hey, remember Blackfish? Dead. Like, they just bring people back and kill them immediately.
Preston, do you mind if we wrap it up here?
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us as always. We'll see you all next time. Have a good one.